Bring it in, baby.
Dinner in Hell Band!
Oh! Every single time it hits me like a freaking... Love it.
Like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Fucking crushing tonight.
I was thinking like Mike Tyson's right hook. Body blow even.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking...
A total stunner.
I would describe our band as hitting you like a Mike Tyson body blow.
Mm-hmm. That uppercut.
Freaking something in the ribs, a rib-shattering body blow.
Oh.
A piss and blood in your piss body blow.
He was an incredible athlete. Yeah, but really fucking bruised that kidney. Deep bruising.
Yeah, he would pierce your own kidney with half of your rib. That's how he would kill you, with one punch. So, who are we? What do we do?
Welcome back for another exciting episode of the Dinner in Hell podcast, where we, two amateur historians, talk about history's atrocious underbelly. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brad the Impaler, and with me, as always, your friend and mine, Ronson McMaiden.
Hello.
What's happening?
I was going to try to talk over you and predict what you're going to say. Ronson McMaiden, that's my PlayStation name.
All lowercase.
All lowercase, great.
One word.
If you want to send me a message, just reference the show so I know what's up with your background.
Play some Call of Duty.
Yeah. Hello. Today, we're gonna be doing a little Egyptian, a little bit of Greece. We're gonna go through Rome, Judaism, Islam. I'm just kidding. Islam, a little bit of European, and a little bit of what?
American history.
That's right. Today's topic covers all freaking areas of the world. Mm-hmm. It's a medicinal. It's our first medical.
Yeah, it's probably, I think it definitely is our first medical topic, at least a soul topic. We had to have come up with something before this on it. I can't think of anything, though.
I can't think of any medical treatment topic we've done except... No.
Yeah, I think this might be the very first delving into it.
Burned alive was a death, execution. Impalement, samurai. I'm trying to think like that. In Dancing Plague episode... They prescribed more dancing.
Yeah, that's true. I think that might be that was probably what was in the back of my mind. That might be the only time we've ever discussed any sort of medicine.
And then the Black Death bubonic plague episode.
Yeah, that would have been heavily about that too.
The doctor said it was God mad at punishing the people. So there was a little bit of medical.
Yeah, don't expect the ancient Egyptian doctors to be that much brighter.
So today we're talking about a method.
We're talking about bloodletting.
All right.
This is the process of intentionally removing blood from a patient for the purposes of improving their health, which is bananas. It was practiced in its purest form all the way from antiquity into the 20th century, and in some variation or another, you guessed it, continues to this day.
They're still doing blood. Oh yeah, they're doing bloodletting with leeches. With when someone has their fingers chopped off and they reattach them, and the tips are like black blood, they'll stick a leech on there and it'll suck the black blood out, so new blood comes in.
Yeah, but I don't want to equate that to this because that works.
Yeah,
bloodletting doesn't do anything.
We're gonna talk about the bloodletting that is harmful to the person.
Yeah, there was some rare cases in which bloodletting was successful in the ancient times, but only because they had hypertensia. They didn't understand what that was then, so they were just getting lucky.
Yeah.
But for the most part, any bloodletting is harmful to the patient.
So you're saying let's say there was 20 ailments that bloodletting was prescribed for, but it just so happened to hit the nail on the head with the hypertension?
No, they didn't even know what the hell was going on.
But what I'm asking is let's
yeah, but
say,
letting blood out of you does help that.
Right. So they got lucky it was hypertension.
Yeah.
But they just thought he had
but they were like, oh, he's got some sort of demon in his...
He's got the shakes.
In his internals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we should probably start off where it got started. And where it got started was in ancient Egypt. probably around 2,000 years BC. The Egyptians used medicines, all kinds of herbal medicines that they got from animals and from minerals, but they were all useless. There was a couple
Spices.
that they happened to be sort of mild antibiotics, but since Egyptians didn't know what bacteria was, that was just a coincidence too.
Yeah, they were fighting bacteria randomly without, like, blindly, without, they didn't even intend on it.
Yeah,
It just happened to be happening.
just so happened, like, one of these sticks or whatever they made a tea out of actually works like an antibiotic, so it helped.
Yeah. Or, like, maybe vinegar. People would do vinegar.
Yeah, some sort of thing like that, yeah.
I don't know when that was invented, though. I don't know if that was 2000 BC or what.
I know in some cases I think they use vinegar in the mummification process.
Okay. Man,
so they probably had access to it.
We should do a Dinner in Hell episode on vinegar.
Mummification.
I want to learn more about vinegar. You ever look up friggin' the ingredients to brown sugar?
No.
Like, one time I was like, oh, I need brown sugar. And I looked up on a thing like, oh, substitutes for brown sugar. They're like, oh, brown sugar is just sugar and molasses.
Huh.
Like, oh, so I guess if you had molasses around.
Have you ever dealt with molasses? It's fucking like the worst shit ever.
Sticky, gooey.
Yeah. And God forbid you get it somewhere you don't want it. It's like over. You just gotta like burn whatever it got on you. Like you got it on your counter, fuck it. Just set it on fire and build a new one.
Yeah.
It's like tar.
We're gonna do molasses vinegar episode.
Just talk about how annoyed I am by various foods.
Yeah, we could just go off on vinegar and molasses.
I could probably do 10 minutes on molasses.
So they probably had spices, garlic and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that were what the medicines they were working with.
And none of them worked.
Yeah. However, the ancient Egyptians did have success in surgery. And we know this because of papyrus scrolls that they make it down to us. They still exist. And most of them sort of describe, like, diagnosing something, like describing the injury, usually a cut or a broken bone,
yeah,
and how to fix it, how to set bones, and how to seal cuts. What they would have done is use sticky paper.
Really? Like a Band-Aid and then rip it off?
Yeah. Because it would stay open in the middle, but it would keep it together, so it would let the pus freely flow out and keep airflow. So they were actually pretty good at it. They wouldn't have understood why they were good at it, but they were good at it.
Yeah, wounds healed better with the fresh air hitting it. I had a question. Man, could you imagine them setting bones back then? Like,
God,
you're not going to be unconscious unless they knock you out for you.
Yeah, it's probably like a bite the bullet scenario.
You know, like say like, you know, your bottom lower leg bones, like one of them's poking out, like you fell off a horse or something.
Yeah, they would just have to like wrench it back into place while you're
and hope that it like lines up. Like how are they going to know unless they like are like opening your flesh up and like eyeballing it?
They probably do it by feel.
They put their hand in there.
Or just like, I mean, you can feel your shin bone through your skin.
Oh, God, I don't want to think about that. Like basketball player.
Yeah, I haven't broken a bone in a really long time. Looking to keep that streak going.
Yeah, I don't think I ever have. I've gotten stitches, but...
I've gotten plenty of those.
And are they not cauterizing open wounds in Egypt?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, because, I mean, if it was infected, they want it to actually properly heal, not just burn it shut.
Although cauterizing is probably pretty good at sterilizing it.
Yeah.
Well, the Egyptians were practicing bloodletting this entire time for any number of reasons. I couldn't get a whole lot of specific information about their methodology, but we'll come up with a pretty general, informative discussion about what methods are used for bloodletting a little bit later on.
Okay, because I was just about to mention some pictures I saw.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of good ones.
So many illustrations illustrating it. It's great.
Some of them are really funny too. Like there'll be just like a perfect arc of blood shooting out of somebody like 6 feet, and the guy will be just like solemnly
catching it with a
collecting
bowl. The blood bowl.
Yeah. And all that like weird pre-Renaissance art where everybody's two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flat, mosaic almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look like stained glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people learned from the Egyptians, namely the Greeks. Bloodletting is mentioned in the writings of Hippocrates, who you may be familiar with from the Hippocratic Oath. Doctors say, like, I shall do no harm. Shit like that. Why they don't do lethal injections is because of this dude.
All I know about Hippocrates is all I heard was that the guy would sometimes say one thing and then go totally against what he's preaching. That's what I know of Hippocrates. So, I mean...
Yeah, he may not be a big practice what you preach guy, but might be jumping to conclusions.
Isn't he I thought he was... I didn't know he was a doctor. I thought he was the god of hypocrites.
Maybe he's both. But that information places bloodletting in the Greek culture to the 5th century BCE. Due to when he lived. He believed that ailments were caused by plethora, or overabundance of what were considered the 4 humors. The 4 humors being blood, yellow bile, black bile, and of course phlegm.
Phlegm,
phlegm.
Like when you wake up in the morning, phlegm.
Yep.
Jesus Christ! So, if you're prescribed with plethora.
Yeah, like if you have like a plethora of blood.
Not only blood, a plethora is all 4.
Or you could have a plethora of just any blood? Of them. Yeah.
Like, I got all this yellow bile.
Yeah, I got a plethora of yellow bile.
Man, how much yellow bile you feel like you got? Plethora? No, not quite plethora. Getting there.
And it's weird. We still use that word. I use the word plethora all the fucking time.
Would you ever... Now, would they do like yellow bile letting? Would they like kind of like poke a hole in your belly and like yellow bile it out? No,
for that they would prescribe emetics so that you would puke, you'd vomit. Would get let down your bile.
Oh my god, yeah. If I ever had a plethora, I'd go vomit.
But I think vomiting was for the black bile and phlegm. For yellow bile, they would give you a diuretic so you would urinate.
Oh, tons of water.
Yeah, I guess so.
From Mexico?
Yeah.
Clean you out?
Yeah, except and of course, if you had a plethora of blood, they'd bleed you real quick.
Oh, of course. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, but that bloodletting was sort of like a plan B for this dude. Like, primarily, he would try to adjust your diet, like have you eat less food.
Yeah.
Tell you to get puking.
Yeah.
Get some exercise.
He really didn't want to deal with the bloodletting and the vomiting. Like, who would? He just wanted you to be like, look, man, get your shit together. Go jogging.
Yeah, sweat it out.
Yeah, go fucking run around Egypt. Go ride the camel. Do whatever. Climb the pyramid. Race up them.
Yeah, and his deal, the reason he thought that bloodletting would be helpful to balancing the humors is he was inspired by menstruation.
Which is what?
Which is when women...
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I thought maybe you wanted me to clear it up for listeners. I don't know. Yeah, he thought that women menstruating was balancing their blood humor. It was like women had this special extra function that could balance one of their humors for them. So he was like, I got it. We'll just cut everybody open and let them bleed some, and then everything will be fine.
Menstruation for all.
Menstruation for all.
Like, why should women just... Okay, let's say women are naturally blessed with the gift of menstruation.
Yeah.
So he's going to say, look, we're going to do artificial menstruations. I got this knife here. Sharp tip. I poke you in the friggin' arm. You bleed into this bull, as shown in the illustration. Yeah. I mean, that's something.
But that's where his head was at. That's what he was thinking.
Hippocrates and his menstruation fetish.
Yep, and Hippocrates himself went on to inspire bloodletting in others. Galen is a famous Greek physician from the Roman Empire. He lived around 200, and he was a follower of Hippocrates. He discovered that veins and arteries carried blood. Before that, they thought that veins and arteries had air in them.
So are you saying, it's to my knowledge, he was probably at 200 would be the oldest Greek physician to ever live? He lived to be 200, you're saying? I'm sorry. Oh, God. I did it again. You said, okay, so year 200.
Year 200.
Okay. I thought this guy was like, had the secret.
Like some sort of magician.
Yeah, he's like, I'm telling you, bloodletting. Here I am, 200.
Yeah.
Hey, it's also the year 200, man. Shut up, Billy. Galen and Billy.
Shut up, Billy. Billy's trying to like set him straight, and God's just letting him have it.
200, eh? Oh, telling everyone you're 200?
Well, yeah, I'm 200.
Dinner in Hell told everyone I'm 200. It's the year 200. I'm just rolling with it. That's how Galen talks. Okay.
What if they said about it? Would you deny it, or would you roll with that? This is a serious marketing opportunity for me.
Let us know at dinnerandhell@podcast.gmail.
Yeah. And his innovation to bloodletting is that he thought blood was created and then used up. He didn't understand circulation.
I thought he also envisioned it like it would go to the hands and remain at the hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So he thought
it would get stagnant.
Like, blood could like get stagnant and go bad if it was stuck at the end of your extremities.
Like,
so that was...
Man, you got the old blood in your face, honey. I wish you would just friggin' bloodlet a little bit. Just get your face, get the new blood in there.
Yeah, get the new blood because it's stagnant in like your
We're about to go
hand
out.
or some shit.
We're about to go to a gladiation or something.
Beheading.
Some kind of death to someone really... We're talking Rome. Yeah.
Might run into the daughter of the master picker at the beheading.
Yeah. Scaphism. Episode 1. I want to redo that episode. We should do Scaphism again.
Let's do it on our 100th episode.
Okay. Because, like, that was our pilot.
We'll do a reboot of the series.
Episode 1, Scaphism.
A reimagining.
If anyone goes back and listens to it from now, like listens to this show and then listens to episode 1, we had a technical problem with the audio where it's been fixed.
Yeah.
Like, we just had, it was like our pilot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like it. The content and the discussion's great. It's just that your vocals on that one, your voice is lower.
Yeah.
And it just I can't take it. I wish it was.
Probably still have the notes for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Joe Galen had another improvement to the process that was probably pretty influential on modern medicine, or medicine after this point anyway, is he was the first to develop a set methodology for bloodletting. So what he would do is take into account like your age and temperament, like the weather, the time of the year,
Political views, religion.
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much all kinds of weird nonsense would go into this. But there was a like do-it-yourself instructions. So it'd be like, all right, if you're a 36-year-old man, take out this much out of this vein at this time of the year, and you'll be better off somehow. Not just need to eat like a couple of cookies to get your iron back,
and try to get some exercise in the meantime, and change your diet if you could. You'll feel way better after this bloodletting if you do that. Diet and exercise. Bloodletting.
Yep, bloodletting also present in the Abrahamic tradition. In Judaism, it's mentioned in the Talmud, which is the Jewish sort of oral law.
I think anyone who's read that law knows that, Brad. Please.
They get a little bit of a different read on it. For them, it's not meant to cure anything specific. It's like a preventative thing. So be like, oh, make sure you get your bloodletting this month, otherwise you're going to get sick.
Every fourth Thursday, we're bloodletting.
Yeah, that's sort of what it's like, I think. And for whatever reason, this wasn't done by a physician. It would be like the nurse or like the physician's aide would do it. Doctors. Always trying to put themselves above something.
Ugh. Charge you for a surgery. Fuckers. Bill you for a surgery. It wasn't even surgery, just poked me and that's it. But it's surgery.
Yeah, this dude would have been called an uman. Whatever that means. Don't speak Hebrew.
Oh, well, our Hebrew Twitter followers can let us know.
Yeah. But it was evidently pretty important to them because in the Talmud it kind of says if there's not an uman somewhere, it's not really a fit place for you to live.
Yeah, like frequently asked questions. What if I don't have an uman available to bloodlet my pressure?
Well, I think it said specifically it's not a fit place for a scholar to live, but I don't know what that means. So again, Jewish Twitter followers, let me know.
Again,
if you're familiar with the Talmud.
Key part of our show description is 2 amateur historians.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just holding true.
We're trying our best.
We just hope you're entertained for 45, 50 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And bloodletting prominent in Islam. And
by removing the head.
No.
With a knife.
How's that going to make anybody healthier?
I'm just talking about terrorist videos. I'm not talking about real Islam.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the bastards.
Well, in the Islamic tradition, the bloodletting is done by the practice of Hijama. It was mentioned and praised specifically by Muhammad. The process of Hijama involves making a small incision at usually 6 kind of prescribed, special, optimized parts on your body. 6 little cuts.
Mm-hmm. Tip of the penis is one.
Oh, God.
Eyeball
I fucking
is
hope
another.
not.
Eyeball's another.
I think...
Tongue tip.
Yeah.
Under the toenail you poke. Supposed to.
That's fucked up. It reminds me of that Jackass skit. I think one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever watched was watching one gentleman on that show get a paper cut from a manila envelope on both corners of his lips.
Yeah.
In between the toes.
Yeah,
This dude practically fucking had the Joker's face from, like, The Dark Knight.
For me, it was the taser hallway that they had to, like, slide down, and it was tasers hanging. Or it might have been in the back of a truck. There's just tasers hanging, like, active, like, on. And they're, like, in a truck, like, on roller skates or something. Like,
I remember that.
And they're just getting zapped, and it sucks. They're mad at that one.
That looks like it would hurt a lot. The paper cuts were fucking insane. I would never, under any circumstances, allow that to happen to me.
I mean, so if you're, I guess what we're trying to tell you is if you want to see an example of blood, like modern day bloodletting, you can watch Jackass.
Yeah, go for it. It's probably been long enough to where there's some nostalgia for it now.
Yeah.
Oh, but we didn't finish talking about what the process contained.
Yeah.
And after those incisions were made, the 6 incisions, what they would do is, in traditional cases, this would be accomplished with horns. Like from like a goat.
Hollowed out so it funnels out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sharpen the end of it.
Yep, and on top of the incisions, they would put the horn and a small piece of paper, which they would light on fire to combust the air inside of the horn to create suction that would suck blood out of the incisions. This is supposed to heal you.
Yeah. You ever did the ear candles?
Nope.
I did. Yeah. It's like a tube. Goes in your ear. Light the end of it. And fucking smoke and shit. But the heat is supposed to draw the wax from your ear. I don't know if it worked or not. There was shit in there. Supposed to be wax. But it
might just be like ashes.
The wax from the candle. Like, come on. Thank God whatever it was wasn't in my head, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's out of whatever it was, whether it came out of my head or didn't make it to my head.
Yeah.
Glad it's not in my head.
That's true. And modern times, when hijama is still done, it's done generally with a machine. So there's like plastic cups that are hooked up to a machine that provides the suction.
They make incisions and then suck it out?
Yeah. They're still doing this, but they're not the only ones. There's people cupping and doing bloodletting all over the place.
Yeah.
In like holistic medicine ways. Before we get out of the ancient times, bloodletting was also practiced by the Mayans. But theirs was not for health purposes. It was for religious purposes. They would pierce their soft tissues. So like their tongue, lips,
Ears,
genitals. And they did this to gather blood for a blood sacrifice.
Yeah.
Bloodletting also comes up in ancient Indian texts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Native American?
No.
Indian?
Yep.
Nice. Shame on me.
Well, I should have clarified. It's still a pretty commonly used term.
Yeah, that's why I asked, was to clarify. So, shame on me for not going with Indian as in, I would have said West Indian or West Indian. East. Eurasian. I would have said Indo-Asian. But that's what I call them. You want to call them Indian, I call them Indo-Asian.
All right.
Indians are considered Asians. Did you know that?
Yes.
They're not Arabic.
Correct.
Yeah, they're freaking Asian. Like, they don't look Asian. They look like just brown.
The Indian people, I think, are sort of unique. Or at least, like, that specific region.
Pakistani Indian.
Yeah, they're pretty similar.
Yeah. Pakistani. Sorry, Barrack.
Yeah, but bloodletting continues and evolves into the Middle and Dark Ages and Renaissance and in the industrial world. It just keeps on trucking. But we'll pick it back up in Europe, let's say around 1163.
Okay. Good year.
Well, in 1163, I bring that up because there was a church edict from the Pope that said monks and priests could no longer do this practice. So because of that, we can tell that before this time, monks and priests were bloodletting people. Catholic priests.
What do they do with the bowl of blood? Just dump it?
Yeah, probably just dump it on the ground or down a drain or something. Do they have drains then? I don't know. Maybe like a ditch?
Like Rome had plumbing.
I don't think these people may not have been advanced as Rome.
You just dump it on the grass.
Yeah.
Or dump it over your head and walk around, just mess with people.
Yeah, because they would often stand in as medical professionals. But the Catholic Church says, stop doing this heathen nonsense. So we know it stops then. And this, however, gave rise to what are known as barber surgeons.
Okay.
So this is a person that you can go to for a wide variety of services.
I can get a haircut.
You can get a haircut.
Okay, shave.
You can get a shave.
Hot towel treatment.
More like
flat screen TV.
Get a tooth pulled.
Dental work.
Dental work was done by barbers.
Wart removal.
Wart removal, yes, or like lancing, like a tumor, or like a lesion or something.
Bloodletting.
Bloodletting and cupping, and even amputations. So like, you got a rotten foot, just go on down to the barber. He'll get that right off for you.
God. Imagine how just gross it is. Like,
dude, I barely
rotten blood stains.
I barely trust and hate going to a strange barber because I don't trust them to get my fade right. I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to trust. Like, imagine like your regular barber's closed, but you have a toothache, so you got to go to the other barber shop in your city.
Yeah, you don't know how.
You never been in there.
You don't know what is. How gentle he is with extractions.
Yeah, and he's gonna be like taking a wrench to your face. pre-anesthesia.
So, they would hang their bloody towels outside the door, correct?
Yeah. Yep. They would hang them out front because they're doing fucking surgeries in there. So they got tons of bloody towels.
Yeah.
And they'd hang them out in front of their shops. And that gives rise to the barber's pole. The white with the red on it that's spinning outside the barber shop.
The classic barber pole.
Yep. That's reminiscent of the bloody towels.
Oh, God. That's awesome.
Yeah. So there's history showing up directly in your life. Next time you see one, you'll know.
I think when we were talking about show topics and bloodletting came up, I was like on the fence, like, I don't know. And you were like, oh, but the barber towel is the pole. And I was like, all right, green light, let's do this. That's what sold me on it.
Yeah. It's I think I found it really interesting.
Hell yeah.
And this is where we have the best information of the practices, how it was actually carried out. And they used a bunch of different methods. They would do an arterial drain for some ailments, and that was always done at the temple.
Ooh.
That's the artery that they would always drain you from.
Like, not the elbow?
Yeah, I don't think you want to do an arterial drain from a big artery.
Okay.
That'll kill you.
Okay.
But they would do venous drains too.
I mean, how would you even see an artery?
I don't know. Maybe they just know where that is. Like anywhere you can get like your pulse.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Because, I mean, you can see the veins through the skin, but you can't see arteries.
Yeah, I think you can.
They'd be
Can
red.
you?
They'd be red, right?
I don't know if that's a thing.
Artery away from the heart, so it has oxygen. And then veins to the heart.
Yeah, I might be crazy, but I feel like I read that like that's not a thing. Like you can just, or they're not actually blue. I don't know what they're. I think they're not actually blue. They only look blue because it's like filtered by your skin or whatever.
Oh. Okay.
But I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I didn't research that.
Yeah.
So it might be. Don't put any stock in that. I might be just spouting nonsense.
Yeah. Spouting blood. Spouting blood. Tune in for special episode.
Yeah, on top of when they would do the venous drains, these would generally be done in the large sort of surface veins on the neck or forearm.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Also, they would use leeches.
Nice.
And this was considered a lucky way because it involves very little pain and it heals really easily.
Yeah. And they're still used today. They keep them in the... Imagine, like, hospital, you go to, like, the modern hospital. They run to the fridge, and they got, like, a cup with, like, a bait cup.
Yeah.
Pull out leeches.
Also, and still in modern... Well, leeches are used in modern medicine, and they're also used by, quacks. Who are still, like, bloodletting, not the specific use of, like, cleaning up blood.
You go to...
That's, like, an actual medical thing. That works. But other people are just like, oh, like... You got a broken leg? Let's pop some leeches on that fucker and you'll be fine.
Or like, let's say you are, you're being seduced by a fire priestess.
Yeah.
And she takes the leeches and sucks the blood of like a royal bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Say like a son of a king.
A Baratheon specifically?
And then she takes the leeches and throws them on a fire, and then in the smoke you see a vision. Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, that was definitely happening in reality.
Was that Rob Snow?
Or Jon Snow?
The Jon Snow. That's
I think. Yeah, it wasn't a Baratheon. It was a Targaryen. Spoilers.
And God darn it all came true and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, she was right. Damn.
God, I can't wait for fucking Game of Thrones to come back.
Yes.
I'm reading Dune right now, again.
Yeah.
Sort of like the space Game of Thrones.
Cute. I find that cute. It's a very cute. It's a very cute story.
Thank you.
Because I know I have not seen it, so I can't converse on it. Except for I know it stings in it and there's sand in it. Sand is shown in the movie.
Yeah, they're on the desert planet Arrakis. All right, the first thing you need to understand about Arrakis.
If you want to hear more about Dune, just contact us.
Tune into our podcast, Dunecast, which will be immediately following this one.
Yeah. Dunecast.
We just discuss one book every week.
Dune.
Just not any of the sequels. Just Dune. Not God, Emperor, Dune, Heretics, none of that.
Dunecast.
Yeah. Frank Herbert's Dune.
Dinner and Hell presents Dunecast.
New episode every day. 3-hour runtime.
We'll be taking calls.
So if you really, really like that book, tune in. Yeah. So arterial drains, venous drains, leeches, cupping, all of that stuff's going on to heal all kinds of bullshit. They don't know a goddamn thing about medicine still. Till they develop germ theory, they basically don't know what the hell's going on.
Nothing is even close to being sterile.
Yeah, people bleeding only helps them in extremely rare cases.
Think of it being about as sterile as a barn full of animals.
Yeah. Yeah, and they would cut you open sometimes with...
You'd probably be in the barn so you don't get the house messy.
Yeah, not sterile, real dirty, bad scene.
Everything's covered in brown, and the brown is old blood.
Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, the goal of the treatment, when they would be like, okay, we've got enough blood, is when the person would faint and pass out.
Okay, we're good. Shut her down.
Yeah, shut it down. Yeah, put a cork in her.
Put a strap on it. Put like a piece of cotton in there and then like tie it off like they do at the doctors.
Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, even within the medical community, it was still advocated for up until 1923 by Sir William Osler. It had been disproven in like the 1600s that it doesn't do a damn thing, but in 1923, Dr. Sir William Osler wrote a book that said, bloodletting's cool, do it. That's an exact quote, by the way.
I was trying to think of who was president in 1923, but who gives a shit?
Would have been after Wilson.
Let's see.
Just rack your memories, and I'm sure you know.
Okay, let me... I know in like 1868, I know for a fact that was freaking Grant. Okay.
Yep.
Ulysses S. Grant, which I think we should probably do an episode on him because I found out he was a drunk.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet a lot of them were.
Drunk that became president. If I had to guess, in 1923, so like basically the person from 1923 would actually be from 23 to 27, right? So I'm going to go with Harding. I'm going to say, but then Harding did in fact die. So Coolidge became president right after him because Coolidge. So yeah, I'm going to go with Harding, but I'm going to say in 23 it was Harding, but Coolidge became president too.
Yeah, that's true. Now that I think of it, I also remember that thing.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, it does.
Because if you know about presidents like we do, then yeah.
Speaking of presidents,
nice.
George Washington fell sick.
Which one was he? What year? 1776?
Yep.
Okay.
The first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
The first year of America?
Yep. Year one, President George Washington.
I've heard of him.
He fell ill in 1799 with a throat infection.
Well, he wasn't president then, but it was George Washington.
He had retired from public life.
He was like Martha's Vineyard. He's just like
chilling.
Yeah. He's like, is golf invented yet? Let's go.
Yeah.
I want to play golf.
Yeah, so he got, I don't know, strep or some shit in 1799. He was sick as fuck. And he demanded that they bleed him.
Sore throat. Severe sore throat.
Yeah. And over the course of 16 hours, reports are that they may have drained as much as 5 to 7 pints of blood from George Washington while he had, like, basically strep throat.
And the average grown man has 8 pints of blood in his body.
Yeah,
so he's left with 1 pint of blood to go.
So he's got this infection that his body's trying to fight, and he's simultaneously being forced to produce shitloads of blood all at once. And now historians think that may have contributed to his death the following morning. So yeah, bloodletting is the first topic I think that has killed an American president.
That's the first American president death mentioned.
Yeah. And it was done by medicine. Or helped along, or maybe not. But I think so. I don't think you can lose that much blood and have it not be a factor.
Seriously, though, there's only like 8 pints of blood in the average body if you look it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
That's why it's fucking crazy.
What color do you think his skin was? White? Pasty?
Yeah.
Saggy?
Weird fucking hair or wig. I don't know what kind of bullshit he had going on, but it was fucked up looking.
He's not even bothering with the wooden dentures anymore. He's just gumming it out.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. I'm not in the limelight anymore. I'm not in the spotlight, see? That's my George Washington impression.
That's probably pretty fucking good. Or what if, like...
George Washington? Man, his red coat, see? Yeah. No teeth.
He's from, like, 1920s New York City.
All right, copper. George Washington? I didn't chop down a cherry tree, I swear to God. Was that Lincoln?
No, the cherry tree thing's George Washington. I cannot tell a lie.
I swear to God.
I don't know if he said that.
No, I cannot tell a lie. I heard he said, I swear on mom's eyes. Cannot tell a lie. It meant the same thing in their house. I don't know. People have different things.
Well, I can't tell a lie about how much you should contact us on Twitter. And it's a lot.
Man, you must have took that workshop. Did you take the Segway workshop?
I did.
Because you nailed it with the President Harding.
The
President Washington. I love that. That was a nice move.
I really came into my own between the first segment and the second segment of the seminar. That's when it all became clear to me.
If you listen to the first, like, 20 or so episodes, and then you'll definitely hear a big difference in Brad's segues. That's some dedication. I love that about you.
Thank you. And on Twitter, we're at Dinner in Hell Pod. We're at dinnerinhell.com. You can email us at dinnerinhellpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Please don't forget to rate and subscribe on iTunes.
So important, you guys. Come on.
Yeah, it helps us out a lot.
Doesn't take much.
Oh, the band.
The audience.
Oh, everybody was incredible tonight. Thank you, Ron, for a great show.
Great energy in the room.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Brad.
Good night.